Hello everyone, this is Kevin, your entrepreneur, and if you can hear the rain, I'm sorry, can't help the weather. Now you might be asking, what am I doing inside when it's raining? Isn't that normally when it's best to be driving? And it is true. I have made over $100 today. In about 4.5 hours, I made over $100. So yes, it's a good day to be doing that. However, even the rain can't make between the hours of 7 and 10:30 very profitable. So, and I need a few hours break before I get out and get the really drunk people. So what do? I come to relax by making YouTube videos. I suppose thus is the life of an entrepreneur. You're always finding new ways to make money. But let's talk about some news stories because I have a lot of them to cover. And I have to make a couple videos about rideshare insurance and a new fee that Uber added. It's crazy. But let's start with one that it's getting kind of tiresome to bring it up. If Uber ever changes this policy, I don't even know what's going to happen. I think half of my videos are going to disappear or something. But according to an article from Money titled Uber Faces Mounting Pressure to Include Tipping Feature, our good friends in New York are putting the pressure on Uber once again. According to the article, let's see here. The company is under pressure to make it much easier to tip drivers, where it would become a standard as adding 15 or 20% to your restaurant bill or taxi fare. This week, a group representing nearly 50,000, can you believe it? Uber drivers in New York City filed a petition with the Taxi and Limousine Commission to force Uber to add an in-app tipping option for riders. And I quote, "All other major ride-sharing companies and all New York City taxis offer tipping options in their apps or display screens," the Independent Drivers Guild said in a statement. Uber's refusal to allow in-app tipping has caused rampant passenger confusion over whether tipping is permitted, it is, and whether gratuity is already included in the fare. It is not. So that's pretty much the long and short of it. Of course, Uber issued their standard nonsense response about how tipping is not part of the culture. And of course, the only reason it's not part of the culture, Uber, is because you don't make it part of the culture. You're actively going against it. And it's getting tiresome. And you know what? The only reason I brought this up, because this isn't necessarily news. We all know that Uber is like so bad about this, and they're going to be bad about it for a long, long time. But here's the thing, Uber, 50,000 drivers, and like, this is why protesting against Uber and Lyft is really easy, especially when you're on multiple different apps. If you don't like something you're doing, you just don't turn the app on. You maybe do one ride a month just to stay active, but for the most part, you boycott. And eventually, they listen. Now, Uber is really, really stubborn about this. And one of the reasons they're stubborn is because they invest. Have you ever wondered why they keep offering like $500 bonuses, $700 bonuses? It's because they've been mismanaging the drivers, and the drivers are quitting in droves. And no one's really writing about it, but it's pretty obvious to anyone who is doing this for a while that that is what the issue is. And Uber would rather spend precious capital money, that reserve money that they have in the bank, to hire new people rather than fix the problem with the old ones. I remember when I started doing this like a year and a half ago, one of the common things that was brought up was 60% of Uber drivers quit within the first few months. And you know what? I said to myself, that cannot last. It cannot last. Uber will have to address that at some point. And you know what? We are at the point where Uber needs to address it, and they are doing it so half-heartedly. They're adding the boosts, which helps. Let's see here. They're upping the referral bonuses. That kind of helps if anyone ever fit. But they also upped the ride count from like 30 to 75 rides. So it's a lot harder to obtain that. And, you know, they have their new PR person who says he's driving Uber and he's listening to the complaints. And he sent a letter out to people. And I will comment on that letter. And I apologize in advance. I will be reading the whole letter and I will be commenting on every aspect of that letter. So don't leave any comments about how I'm reading the letter and it's boring. It has to be done. But the bottom line is Uber is trying to manage it now, and they are managing it very poorly. Adding the tip option would go so far into fixing a lot of this, it's not even funny. It is so not funny. Or it is funny. Maybe it is funny, because they just have to do one basic thing and they would have so many of their problems go away, but they're not going to do that. 50,000 drivers is nothing to scoff at. Losing 60% of your drivers within the first few months is not a good thing. And adding boosts and stuff only mitigate the problem so much because you are spending that money out of pocket. Out of your own pocket. So, wouldn't the logical compromise be to add a tip option so that you can keep the rates low, but the drivers make more money because the people are tipping? And if the people don't want to tip, they don't have to. I must be in the Twilight Zone. This seems so logical. Why are we still talking about this? Why am I still making 3 or 4 videos on this topic every week after 7 or 8 months? Anyway, that's that. Obviously, nothing's changed. What do you folks think? Do you think this is finally going to get Uber to finally add the tip option? I'm sorry, I can't say that with a straight face. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.